I want to invite you on a journey with me. It's a journey that took 19 years, but I have millions and millions of sisters around the world who have been going through this journey, who have completed it or are just starting. It's a journey to a hysterectomy. Sometimes our femininity and our value as a woman is attached to having a functioning uterus that can birth children. But what happens when that goes wrong? What happens when that uterus has done its job or didn't do the job and yet has to be taken out? This has plunged so many women into deep depression, and they have lost their sense of identity and value, thinking that their worth is tied to this organ. This journey of 19 years that I have put together and compiled in vlogs is what I'm inviting you on. How did I get here? I am still in post-recovery, but many things I have learned, and the most important one is this: my creativity and my ability to create life did not end with my uterus. I want to be able to share some of those principles that I've learned with you. But first, again, strap up your seatbelt because we're going on a roller coaster ride. This is the journey to my hysterectomy. Hi. So I need to apologize if I have not been professional with this recording because you know these kids are outside, and this is actually my best spot in the house. And in the last video, I know they were like screaming as they played, but if that did not go so well, I'm sorry. They're still extra outside though. But so for me, I think this last where we are right now is I have surgery coming up in December, in a little over a month. So we're in October now, October, November, December. And, you know, the question was asked, and this is what I kind of want to touch on today, on this mental, emotional, and psychological impact of going through abdominal bleeding and hysterectomy and just all of that. And so my doctor had asked me, you know, do you have a counselor? And well, she asked me two things: do you have a counselor, and do you we need to get you into pain management. A whole horse of a different story. Pain management, oh, yeah, that's something else. But the pain management, it essentially was to make sure that my body can stay at a level of manageability until December, because the option to do it now, I would have to come out of school and the whole semester would have been shot. But December is a ways off, and this was discussed in September. So in between, her concern was that if we can keep the pain and the body stress at a manageable place, then we won't have another flare-up, which would probably cause us to do it earlier, and then poof, the semester is gone. So that's the pain management. Do I have a psychologist, a counselor? A question that was not weird, but raised up a conversation that needed to be had. And why? Why would she ask that question? Well, it is a loss that I will be experiencing. And you know, people have asked me, you know, you have 3 children, you have 3 grown kids, do you want more children? Honestly, yeah, I wanted more kids. I actually wanted 6. 6. That was my dream. I come from a big family, and I love big families, and I love children, and I felt that it was a bonus to have multiple siblings, and so I did want 6. Well, after Nigel and that whole hurrah with the C-section, my doctor then was like, honey, if you try to have another child, we may not be able to save either one of y'all. So you don't want to take a risk. Okay, fine. We took care of it then. I think it was an emotional decision that I made at that point because, you're facing death. And so it's like, no, we don't want to face death like that again. So she says, I cracked it, the bridge. This is what she said. I love her to death. She said, the bridge, the bridge has not only been closed, the bridge was blown up. So anyway, they burn, I can't have any children. And if I do have any more children, then it will definitely be one of those miracles where I'll probably own a hospital. But she ensured that that medically, that I could not have any children. So a lot of people don't know that. And so the question is that you have 3 children, grown children. Did you want more children? At my age, which I'm not old, but still, I am beyond, my youngest is 19, going to be, is 19. And I just found that sometimes, people say things and it's with good intention. And honestly, it is in their mind, they're thinking, well, there's not really much of a loss that's going to happen. And I get it. And I have said that to myself, like, you have 3, like, well, no, I did want more. I would have liked to have more. I would have. I do want to have more. I have to adopt or do something with them eggs, but I would have wanted to. And so it's like, well, then you won't be losing anything. Just take it out, get rid of it. I get it, and I say that to myself too. But and I've seen on a friend of mine shared with me how hard it was for her because it was tied in with, and I know many women feel that way. I haven't gotten there particularly as strong yet, but I'm starting to enter that realm, and it's really scary to feel that kind of emotion coming on. But she said to me, that was the one thing that kind of for her gave some identification for her womanhood. Men have penises and we have a womb, and it's just, our womb is a source of life, it gives life and just our organs, it's a female thing. And so it was really hard for her to have that extracted and removed, and it was dysfunctional and it wasn't working properly, and then what now? And I feel that I also hear people saying, oh, you shouldn't be thinking that way, but you know what, give everybody their space to feel how they feel about it. I was moved with compassion for her because I felt like, whoa, as me struggling with emerging adults as they didn't need me anymore, that I felt like my identity and all of my worth was in the fact that I was these 3 children's mom. And now they don't need me as a mom per se anymore. I just didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know who I was as a woman. I didn't know who I was as a friend or a sister, because I had just been Sarah, Nigel, and Vicky's mother, and that's where my worth was. And I did end up in the counselor chair, and I did have a breakdown over that because I didn't know who the heck I was. So our identity sometimes is laid up in either a product or part of us. And so for me, when she asked me, do you have a doctor, a counselor, it was really that she needed me to address all of the emotional and psychological and mental transitions and processes that would come from having to now have a major organ removed, and the hope of having children gone, and then the scars and just everything else. I was fine because when you're in pain, you don't care what it is, take it out. So when you're in labor, that baby about to push through and there's a lot of pain, you tell that doctor, give me the knife, I'll take that child out myself. Cut. Take it out. When I have my back problems and that pain is, give me a knife, cut the whole back out. Cut it off. When my legs are numb and, just all of that, take it out. Everything. Okay. When I'm in pain with my bleeding and stuff, yeah, take the whole wound. Take it out. Take it out. That's in the midst of pain, but when the pain calms down and reality hits and you're just like, oh, yeah, I didn't really want that to be taken out. I just wanted the pain stopped. So again, I know I'm not by myself, but it's still something that I've now began to grapple with. And yeah, it's it is beginning to hit home. So, um, my heart really goes out to many of the women who feel a sense of loss and grieve, losing this part of them that um, held so much value and worth as a female. Um, I don't know how I'm feeling about that. So I actually came right back on because I was just talking about how I felt or starting to feel about losing my um, going through this hysterectomy. And sometimes the doctors, if they don't take everything, for her, she said, we're going to leave your ovaries and we'll take the fallopian tubes out because, you're at risk for cancer developing in there. I do have a tumor. It's not malignant, but it's bothersome. And I think now that we're getting closer to this surgery, which looking forward to it. I was, for me it was like, that is the day of victory. I've been saying, you know what, that is the celebratory day. It is. We're gonna have a party that day because now I'm getting my life back, and this thing disrupted my life so much, and I'm getting it back, and I'm just yes, 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 yes. But then there's like today where I'm just like, really, God? Really? This is major. Why didn't all the other stuff work? It should have worked. One of my girlfriends asked me, I think it was 2 days ago, like how many surgeries I've had to deal with this thing. This will be number 5. And my doctor trying to do the biopsy was a reminder of just how much I hate pain. I'll be down for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, and fully at the mercy of whoever will be here helping me out, take care of me. I'm not looking forward to not having any of my strength for weeks. I'm not looking forward to having to just be popping pills. I'm not looking forward to the risks that are going to come with this. I'm not looking forward to the recovery. I ain't going to sugarcoat it. Recovery is not easy. I'm not looking forward to how my body's going to have to need to be built back up. I'm just not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to missing out Christmas, traveling home. I'm not looking forward to that. So I'm now in that place where I'm just like, darn it. So anyway, we talked about needing the doctor, the counselor, and yes, I do have a counselor, and I am going to be talking to her a lot about this. But here's the most beautiful thing. I have experienced a few losses over the last few months, and really had to figure out this grief process with those losses, and it's different for everyone, and it's actually different from who dies too in your life. So I had a few people who passed around the same time, and so it's like 4 racetracks of trying to maneuver through. So what I've decided to do is take those principles from the grief process that I felt were very useful and apply it to this, because it is a loss. It is a loss. Something is going to be taken from me that I've lived with for the last 43 years. That has brought me much joy, that has given me the ability to produce life that I saw grow and rubbed and felt, that contained life, that nurtured three amazing children, that, you know, expanded and showed me that my stomach is elastic, and, you know, just the joys that it brought to me. I loved being pregnant. um, I loved I loved I loved producing children. um, and, you know, this is something that without me wanting to, I have to say goodbye to it, you know. And I don't care if people say, you know, well, it's done its job. Well, that's not for you to say. It did its job, but I would like to keep it, please. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to go through all of these emotions of frustration, yet trying to understand it, then trying to bear it, and then, you know, all of that other stuff. So, what I feel that people need to do is be patient with other individuals as they go through this kind of process and experience. All the kids are out there. Again, sorry. But just kind of be patient with individuals as they go through this. Allow them to process as they can. Allow them to ebb and flow throughout emotions. I know this is going to be better for me in the long run, but at the same time, I don't want to go through it. And at the same time, I wish there was a better way. And at the same time, I wish the other surgeries had worked. And at the same time, I'm not happy about having to have my stomach reconstructed. And at the same time, I need this thing done all at once. So be patient with individuals. And as far as for me and the grief process, I have given myself permission to go through all of these emotions at the same time as they come. And I've given myself permission to say goodbye to my uterus and to honor it. And so I have started the process of speaking to it all the great things that it's done for me and sharing memories in that conversation. I'm not crazy. Trust me, it works. But honoring the journey of Sierra's 21, what it did from my 20s up till where I stopped, how good it was to me. And going through that reconciliation with it, that yeah, it's sick right now. It's sick. It's okay. It's sick and it's not going to be able to do what it can again. But I cannot expect it to do what I want it to do. It just cannot. And it's actually causing me more harm now, staying in than being out. And so going through that, where did it do its job? That's one of the questions my counselor had asked me when my father and Carrie died. Did they do what they were supposed to do in whatever capacity, like me personally? And whatever that looked like, be okay with it. So did it do its job? It did. It did. I wanted it to do more work. That's not what it was called to do. It did its job. I have 3 amazing children, and my pregnancies were amazing. What is it going to do now? I can't do anything else with it. So my thing to my body part, my uterus, is thank you. Thank you. And just go through that catharsis with it, where I'm saying to it, thank you. Thank you for being a gift to me. There are many, many women who tried and they can't have children. So for me, it's an honor to have that gift. And to actually say, you know, yeah, I want to be taken care of, and you have done what you're supposed to do. And right now you're hurting me a little bit more than helping me. And so I will have to say it's been great, and we have those memories to share forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. But transitions are hard, and I'll lean on my counselor and my friends and support and my family and my aunts who've been through it, and draw from them how they recovered and are living their best life, and do that. And then just when it ebbs back to where I'm sorrowful and angry and regretful, then I'll experience that and I'll go through that. And then I'll go back to my happy places with it, where it brought me all the joy and strength, and replace that sadness back with joy. So that is where we are right now. I shall be back again as things progress. And so, yeah, I hope I haven't bored you too much. And for those of you guys who just don't understand, I hope I've given a little bit more insight. But I could say just be compassionate, and women too, and especially ladies who, you know, are not having this issue. Be a little bit kind and compassionate, and, you know, try to hug a sister who is going through this really tough and rough journey.